Hey guys, it's Marcus with Horror Junkies of Utah, and today I want to talk about something I haven't done in a while, and that's a book review. The book I want to talk about today is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Now, personally, I am not a huge vampire fan, whether it be in novels or movies. I just don't do well in that genre. It's never really captured my attention. But with this one, I made an exception to read it, and I was quite excited because Stephen King wrote a series called The Dark Tower, and one of his characters from this book is actually written into the Dark Tower series, and I loved that character, and to find out that he's actually a character in Salem's Lot was really cool, and his name is Father Callahan. And so the thing that was a little disappointing to me is he plays a pretty big role at the end of the Dark Tower series. And in Salem's Lot, he has his role, but it's not as big as I was expecting. It actually follows more along the lines of an author who has come to the town Salem's Lot, Jerusalem Lot, however you want to pronounce it. And his name is Ben Mears, and he has returned to his hometown to write a book. And he ends up wanting to stay or rent this old mansion that is supposedly haunted and came back from his childhood where he had an experience there, and he wants to write this book in this old house that overlooks the whole town. And I don't want to give a lot of plot details away, I just want to kind of talk how the book goes. And the thing I don't like is, so classic Stephen King, I mean, he has a lot of detail, but in this book, it seemed like there was a lot of build up, and then it just ends really quickly. Almost like I feel like it should have been longer. It's not that long of a book, honestly. It's like 450 pages, give or take. But I would say the climax of the book is maybe 45 pages, if that, where it just ends so suddenly and abruptly, and I didn't get a lot of emotion from the end scenes. There's this vampire by the name of Barlow, and he is our main evil vampire guy, and he also has his helper, Staker, and they open up this furnishing company with the false pretenses, obviously, of selling furniture, but they're actually converting everyone in town to being vampires. And slowly this happens over time throughout the book with the taking of these two little boys, and then it goes on and on and on. And that was cool, all the build-up, but I just thought it ended too soon, and there wasn't a huge climactic fight or anything. It was kind of just like, here's the end. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, I'll let you guys make up your own opinion. But the other thing I got from this book was the death of small-town America. I really got that from this novel, and what I mean by that is you almost see a small town crumble, but I think Stephen King, although he is talking about vampires and evil and this and that, I also think I got a little bit of the death of small-town America, whereas are small towns slowly disappearing in America, and it's now just metropolis everywhere. That's something I took away from the book, that I don't know if Stephen King intended it to be that way, but I personally got that impression, and it made me think about small town America and how quickly a small town can disappear in an instant almost. And this is what happens to this town. They obviously all know each other, tight-knit community, but it slowly falls apart, and then it gets to that tipping point where everything just goes downhill for this town, and I feel really bad for it. And at the end, a lot of the characters that are still living, I'm not going to give you away who is still living, but they kind of just bail on the town, like, let's get out of here, and that's kind of how it just crumbled and fell apart. But, in all honesty, it was an okay read. I'm usually a huge fan of Stephen King, and this wouldn't be on my top list of books he's wrote. But it was a fairly good read, a fairly fast read. It took me a while just because I've been so busy, but normally a book in that range would probably take me about a week, week and a half. This one took me about a month because I was literally reading like a chapter a week, which is sad. I usually don't do that. I usually can finish 3 or 4 books in a month, and this one took me a while, which I'm really disappointed in myself because I need to read more so I can get more reviews to you guys. And that's going to be my goal. I'm going to try and get at least 3 book reviews for you next month. Go check this one out though if you're interested in the vampire stuff. You might like it a lot more than I did. Especially since Stephen King takes a lot of the vampire cliche and kind of adds it in there. You know, the stake to the heart, the garlic, the reflection stuff, all these little things he puts in there, and that was kind of cool. But you might enjoy it better if you are a huge vampire fan. Me being not a huge vampire fan, it was a fairly decent read, but like I said, not amazingly impressive to me. But give it a read, you know, check it out. I'm Marcus with the Horror Junkies of Utah. Go ahead and check out our Instagram page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And also in the comments below, please put your thoughts on this book after you finish it, if you decide to read it. Or if you have already read this book, go ahead and give me a little comment on what you thought of it. I really appreciate all the comments, the shares, everything like that. It helps us out. And I promise to get back to you with another book review within the next week. Other than that, that's all I have. Check it out. Salem's a lot. We will see you later. Marcus, Horror Junkies of Utah. Bye-bye. Have a good night.